Hello, and time for a quick update on the African palm fruit beer. The version that just had the extract with the fat removed and was in a demijohn is now into bottles conditioning, and I'm about to try and separate the vodka from both the fat and the straight stuff, and I'm just going to do that by running it through some coffee filters, through a funnel, and into one of my conical vessels I usually use for starters. I think that should work. I may do a separate one for the other type, and we'll see how that goes in a second. Okay, so we have some in, and it's dripping through slowly and looking as unpleasant as always. Well, at least it's coming out more or less clear. I tasted a little bit of these using a syringe earlier in the week, and interestingly, they come out with, well, and probably none surprisingly, they come out with rather different flavours. I'll talk about them a bit more once I've got them separated and do a more accurate tasting without getting any sludge in it. Right, we're back. I put some foil over the top of the funnels, stop any flies from getting in when it dropped through. More or less all dripped through and ready to start sampling. So, the one on the left is the one from the full tin of the palm extract stuff, and the one on the right is the one from the fat removed from the top of the stuff that I boiled up. What I'm going to do is these little glasses that came from the Beavertown thing a week or two ago are really convenient in that they have a 100ml line on that you might just be able to see there. So I'm going to take 100ml of beer off the tap, and then I'm going to add these a few drops at a time to work out and try and get to a good flavour balance. So I'm going to just get all the kit out to do that, and then we'll come back in a minute. Okay, I've just transferred the extracts into glasses to make it easy to pick up with this 2ml syringe I've got here. I'll put in, start with 1ml of the fat extract, which appears to have a pretty low aroma and flavour, so it doesn't smell very much, and that really didn't add much. And now I've gone on for another ml of the full tin extract and put that in here. Unfortunately, I've been a little bit over enthusiastic in stirring it, so I've got a rather big head on it, and I'm just waiting for it to subside, so we'll see how that works. The difference in aroma and flavour between the two is quite striking. However much chefs say fat has flavour, this stuff that was the fat extract doesn't have much flavour, whereas this from the full tin does. Okay, after a few rounds of sampling, adding a couple of mil at a time, I think I've come to the conclusion that about 10ml per 100ml gives plenty of palm fruit extract flavour, and much more than that starts to become unpleasant. I've actually poured a sample of the straight beer here for comparison purposes, just so I can see what it is. I'm not sure the fat extract's adding anything. I might do some more experiments with that later to see what I can do with it. Otherwise, just get rid of that, because it doesn't really do much. Okay, so what I'm planning to do next is I'm going to take off a few bottles. I'm just going to run them with a beer gun into some bottles, and then I will sample, I'll inoculate them with 10ml per 100ml of this extract, and maybe a couple of mil of that just for fun. And take them along with some bottles of the straight beer for comparison's purpose, and the ones I have over the other side I showed you earlier that were the ones that went into a demijohn full of the fat reduced version of the palm fruit syrup, palm fruit extract. Just to remind you, the base stuff is this, not the Erdinger, the Banga soup base palm fruit pulp extract. Lovely stuff. Okay, I'll be back just to show you bottling if I have the time, and I will see you shortly. Right, and the bottling's done. So we have, going from right to left, 2 bottles of the straight double, 2 bottles of the vodka extract, 2 bottles that were put in a demijohn with the tin of defatted stuff, and a bottle in a jar of leftover vodka extract for dosing later beers. 33ml per bottle for the vodka extract with a bigger syringe, I have for culinary reasons. That's all ready to go for the Homebrew Club tomorrow and see what everybody thinks. Well, hope this has been fun. I'll talk to you in another video.